The Seventh Tower by Garth Nix. Book 6, The Violet Keystone. Chapter 15. Milla looked at the steps going down, the steps going up, and the narrow passageway that led farther on, while Ebbet hesitated at the intersection, scratching his head. "Where do we go from here?" asked Milla. "Think carefully, Ebbet. I don't want down when it should be up, or left when it should be right. You almost got Grail killed." "A failing of mine," sighed Ebbet. "Perhaps if I tied ribbons of different colors to my wrists, I might know left from right. But I am absolutely sure of our whereabouts now, and about where we shall go, though I'm afraid only 4 of us can travel by steam to the violet levels. Everyone else will have to take those stairs back down to Red 5. I am sure it will be in Icecarl hands by now." "Why only 4? asked Milla. "And what do you mean, to travel by steam?" "Only 4 will fit in the envelope," said Ebbet, "which is propelled upward by steam rising in the aptly named risers, though the return pipes for the condensed waters are not called fallers, which is strange." "Fit in the envelope? What is an envelope? Something like those metal buckets?" "Not at all," replied Ebbet. "An envelope is what you put a letter in. An appropriate envelope, depending on the letter. A formal response to an invitation, for example, should be placed inside a square envelope that is either the color of your order or white. If seeking to depress pretension—" "Ebbet!" snapped Milla. "What is this envelope we can travel in?" "Oh, that is an envelope of light magic. Otherwise we would get scalded by the steam. It is an invention of my own. I suppose it could be called a caul, or a second skin, or a container, or a shroud, though that is rather morbid." Ebbet's voice trailed off into a mutter, and he started counting on his fingers, enumerating all the things you could call this envelope of magic he used to travel by steam. "Perhaps we should try to find some other way," said Milla to Sailson and Malin. "Grail, do you know what Ebbet means? And if we can get out to Red 5, we could get to the violet levels from there, surely." Grail was half asleep again, but she opened her eyes as Milla spoke, and answered softly. "I don't know exactly what Ebbet means, but I presume he has found some way to travel through the heating system of the castle. There are steam pipes that carry steam from the depths throughout the castle. But yes, if you can get out to the red levels, there are many ways from there to the violet levels." "But not as quickly as by steam," interrupted Ebbet. "You would have to fight every stretch of the way through orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo. By steam, we would be in violet in a matter of minutes. Oh, darn take it, I've lost my count. Where was I? Yes, 43, a sack, 44, a powdroon." "I suppose we'll have to chance this steam passage," sighed Milla. "I will go, of course, and Malin, you had best come with me. That leaves one to choose. Perhaps Grail?" But Grail was asleep again, slumped against her spirit shadow, which had folded one dark wing over her as if she were a chick to be sheltered. "No, she is still too weak," Milla answered herself. "I will come, War Chief," said Sailson. Milla shook her head. Even though Sailson had said nothing, Milla was sure from her slightly odd posture that the locomotor hand had broken some of the shield mother's ribs, if not inflicted more serious injuries. "No, I need you to lead the others back to the main host and assume command. I think Jarek—" "War Chief," Sailson began, but Milla cut her off with a sign. "We will face the strongest light magic," she said. "Jarek can survive it, as we have seen." "He is a wilder, War Chief," warned Sailson, ignoring Milla's attempt to cut her off. "If the fury takes him, you might not be able to steer him straight. It were best I come with you instead." Milla met the shield mother's fierce gaze and tried to look commanding. But was Sailson right? Someone had to lead the others back, and Milla was sure Sailson needed to have her ribs bandaged, or perhaps even to be taken back out to the crones waiting in the heatways. "I have spoken," she said finally. "You will lead the others back. I will take Malin and Jarek with me." For a moment Milla thought Sailson would refuse, and she wondered what she could do about it. Then the shield mother dropped her gaze and clapped her fists. "As the War Chief wills," she said. "We will hurry, and I will join the host. We will meet again in the violet levels, as soon as may be. Malin, asked Milla, to be sure the crone, and all the other crones, would not object to this plan. Mullen's eyes clouded for a moment, making contact. Then she shook her head, rather dispiritedly. She had not been the same since she had been cut off from the group consciousness of the crones earlier. Some vital spark of life appeared to have gone out of her. "You are war chief," Mullen said shortly, and clapped her fists. "You will be unfettered by my counsel." "Jarek," asked Milla, raising her voice, "I want you to come with me." Jarek strode through the shield maidens, standing out head and shoulders above them all, his strange blue skin glistening in the light from Milla's sunstone. The wilder had finally come out of his post-fury state. He stopped in front of Milla, towering above her, and clapped his fists together. He did not speak, but simply nodded very slowly to indicate that he had heard and would obey. "Good hunting," said Salson, and she clapped her fists again, before leading the remaining shield maidens and hunters down the steps. Each of them clapped his or her fists as they passed Milla, and she answered in kind. The last two helped Grail up, her spirit shadow flitting backward and forward behind her. Grail weakly gave light from her sunstone to Milla. "May the light protect you," she said. If you should meet up with Tal, tell him that he has my love, trust, and hope. May we all meet again, under the veil." "That is also my wish," said Milla. "We will do everything we can to secure the veil." "Farewell, uncle," Grail added as she started down the stairs. But Ebbet didn't hear her. He was in a world of his own, mumbling and counting, until Milla tapped him on the shoulder. "We are ready," she said. "Take us to the steam and the violet levels."